Okay. There are some days while I'll play Flash games, even the ones with bad flowing frames. The occasional gem can be found among them, even if hard is not in their claims. This was also my best chance to try some new gimmicks, you may ask, but why? Is to prepare for a forum and checking their decorum, I'm greatly overdue to drop by. Hello YouTubers, it's Frosty the Dragon here with Jacksmith. One of a handful of Flash games that actually has my interest for once. Most of them don't. And I really don't care much for the story of this game. Basically, the unique gimmick is you are the blacksmith making weapons for adventurers that pass through. And why are you traveling? The answer is simple. This fellow, Dudley, has proven he can't do right by deciding to kidnap the king's daughter. And that's about all I have to say about the intro, so I'll just let this go through. Oh yeah, one more thing about the weapons. Not only can you make the stuff, forge it, construct it properly, you can also have special parts, and you can also add special parts to your weapons. It won't matter in this first level, that's going to be showing up real soon, but it's going to be fairly crucial. Alright, we should be right about ready to start. Okay. So we start our adventure here in the lowlands. And at the start of every day, Scout, our dog here, is going to rush forward and tell us how many enemies are on the path. Important later. So our first customer is... Paige? Seriously, man, you've lost a lot of weight. Is mechanics not a viable hobby around here, or are you so destitute that you've got to take up combat? I guess I shouldn't be picking on him. Alright, so whoops. I occasionally make the mistake. What I will say about forging, the forging part of the process, picking the right metal, melting it, and then pouring it into the mold. If you're getting less than 100% on that 90% of the time, something is seriously wrong with you. Usually where you're going to screw up in this game is things like making the handle of a given weapon. I'll get to one exception in the second day. Also, you might have noticed that I've actually given names to some of the characters that show up. If you at all doubt any of my decisions for names, go ahead and leave something in the comments box detailing what you think the name of a leader of a given set of characters should be, and your justification. Note that even if I know what you're talking about, you're still going to want to provide a justification just in case someone else doesn't know. Yeah, I've run out of things to talk about for day one. So, watch me try to get one more weapon right. You also notice that little meter down there? If you make enough of a certain type of weapon, and correctly, your weapon will get extra affinity. The weapon of that category will get extra affinities for later. In my test file, I've actually got longswords to have three different affinities inherent in the blade. It's kind of crazy, and very important to keep in mind for later levels. You might want to forge something that isn't your newest possibility just because of affinities. Alright, I did very well for the weapons on day one, so I should be able to clear the path successfully. In these first 2 days, you basically have to rely on your on how well your heroes do, rather than trying to support them. Let's see what we got. I've also got to remember to start mousing over this. And... yeah. I must have remembered to mute something, because I got a message and didn't hear anything. which I'll get to that message when I'm done here. But that'll be something off camera and not something you guys need to care about. Also, if it looks blurry, despite the fact that I've got this set in high quality, the graphics of this game are designed that there's only so high they can go. What you just saw there, just like it's set on top, if you manage to clear off the entire trail in a given day, you're given an epic weapon design. Also, don't get used to leveling up every time. There are many days where you're just not going to be able to pull that off. So our next weapon of choice is a standard bow. So, Scout, what do we got today? Just another 4 simple monsters. So let's check the design book. Our first epic weapon was the Armor Piercer. I think I'm going to be saving that. Generally speaking, you want to save parts for when you start... How to put this? When you start running these situations where you've got 7 or 8 monsters on the trail. At that point, you definitely want to start making epic weapons. I've checked enough about that. Harvey? What are you doing here? I mean, I've heard of chemists who can pull back a bow, but never a defense attorney. Jeez. Now, I think I've gotten to a point where I can string the bow properly, reliably. But this is like one of the hardest parts of the game for me. Let's see, right here should do. That's a good one. Yeah, I'll accept that. 98% in the stretch. Like I said, this is one of the hardest parts to learn. The bow. And you can trust me when I say you're gonna mess that up frequently as well. I like to forge have the bronze weapon be a sword on this particular day, just because I can more reliably make the sword. And I'm going all out on day 1 because I really want to try to get all the epic weapons that I can. In order to do that, I need to be very good with this. Alright, last forge. Now, you can technically multitask. One thing I recommend is, unless you're really good at the forging, don't try to multitask during the forging. That's the one that actually has some time sensitivities. If you want to multitask, do it during the construction process. Either Phase 2, like what you just saw, or Phase 3, which I'm doing right now. Kinda weak. Alright, let's see how this one does today. This is the last day where we're not going to be able to support. What I usually like to do with the time bonus is I like to try to be reliable and get 30 plus, 35 plus every single time. I can usually pull that off. Alright, so far so good. Bow is starting to show some signs already, though. Occasionally you'll get 2 bowmen on this day, and for me, that's rough. But luckily that did not happen this time. Alright, this is the point where I see how well I've done. I should honestly make it. I lost the bowman, but I'm not too worried about him. The bowman I kind of expected to lose already. Come on. Well, one more attack. There. Epic weapon on day 2. I did not pull that off in practice. And generally speaking, once you get past day, I want to say day 4 or 5, you should be skilled enough at that point that you pull off the entire trail clear every single time. Alright. Now, technically, I could be playing this offline, thanks to a download right from Flipline Studios' site, but I've chosen not to do that for one simple reason. You play an offline version, it inserts ads after every single level, and I kind of get tired of that. So, we have someone new here today, Gander. So, might as well check out his deals. Not like we're getting unlucky and get Goose Egg here. Let's see. Shields and poles, those will be explained when we get there. We're likely to get to both of those today. Not day 3, but this session. Let's see. One thing I like to do every day, purchase the highest ore. Up to a certain point. Once you're reliably getting constant amounts of steel, you can start leaving that alone. Our next item design, Charm Blade. Now, what I like to do with the epic weapons is to bookmark every single part so that I don't accidentally use it. But I'm going to be saving the Charm Blade for later. Alright, bow right off the bat. And I've got enough that I can make all the weapons out of bronze today. Very nice. I think I will do just that. Ugh. Tongue-tied. Right about there. Bronze. Basically, from here on out, the only time I'm going to make a copper weapon is if it's also an epic weapon. I expect to get through about 8 different days of this day, and I spilled some of it. I noticed that spilling a tiny amount sometimes doesn't affect your forging score. But if you spill more than a little bit, you're going to start having some problems. Okay, another bow ends today. Excuse me. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently I'm not fully over the cold I had. Alright. I'm gonna finish backwards here. So you pull it right there. I think I figured out the trick. It's about as close as I'm gonna get, so I'll take it. Okay, no fancy arrows today. Maybe some fancy hilt will work. Another bow. In the later levels, you can basically throw... There's only a certain amount of precision you're going to want. If you focus too much on precision, you're going to start suffering in your time bonus. That said, basically get this to a point where you can get this very reliably. Like, I should have strong enough weapons today. Even though I botched a little bit on the handle. And there are certain in-game perks. Well, I'll call them. They could be called achievements. They could be called perks. I don't care which they are. Point is, you can sometimes get in-game rewards for doing things. Not like it. As far as I know, it doesn't matter on things like your new ground score or whatever. Although I'll have to double check that. It might have changed since. So as you can see, we're actually starting to help out with fire support. Right now, it's just basic cannonballs, which I'm using at every single chance I get, because I want to make sure these guys get through. And last guy, most of the weapons at half health, we should be fine. We should honestly be fine. Another day without a single broken weapon. Apparently, I've already gotten my hands on a crystal epic weapon. That was crazy. Level 4. What awaits us now? Axes. Nice. Alright, Scout, what's up today? Oh, it's now 5 on the trail? That's kind of unfortunate. Bookmark the parts so I remember not to touch them. Let's see, we've got 46 bronze ores. I think I'm going to purchase another one of these, actually. None of the other arrowheads are there, and besides, it's much. I want to see if I can get the components for another armor piercer, since I seem to be doing well again. All right, let's get to forging. Oh, hi, Garbod. Didn't expect to see you around here. Ah, yes, there is something for you I'm making. A nice weapon that you might want to use here. So, the deal with axes. Oh man, I really botched this one, because I got distracted talking. Basically, with axes, you just put the 3 components together like this. Instead of hammering it out like the sword, or stretching it like the bow, you just put together. And this is when poles start mattering. Decent construction. I'll throw on this. Slightly off, but I think we can deal. And somehow I still got a perfect forging score besides letting it spill. That's, I think, what I was talking about. You don't have to be absolutely immaculate. That's kind of a shame. Alright. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, and a bow today. I think there's one more piece, though. Like I said, once you get really good and you start getting up to Steel Plus, you can actually multitask the forging. Until then, I don't recommend it. I flat out don't recommend it until then. Power. And I think we're going to use that luck grip. There we go. Okay, so I botched the hammering bit, but I think we're okay. Standard grip. Standard arrowhead. And unfortunately we didn't get any funky arrow components, so bummer in that regard. Only 3 weapons for 5 enemies. I'm a little concerned. Especially since I didn't actually do a very good job in forging today. I have to start using that cannon. I think special components might save the day here. I don't know how many days I'm going to actually go through on a given recording session. I think this one I'll be doing more days just because the days are shorter. Once they start getting long, I'm not going to do more than 3 or 4 in an episode, and basically, I'm using this entire Jacksmith LP as a testing ground. So I may only release parts when I feel like it, rather than tying it up as a major LP alongside my 3 other projects. Which reminds me, I need to get started on Raptor again, and soon. Alright, we may not make it. I look at that weapon set, I'm really concerned. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. Man, I had a good streak going. But I still did enough to make it to the next area. Which, I'll take that as a slight victory. Wonder if I would have succeeded if I actually made, Armor Piercer. Not something for me to worry about that much. Honestly, I probably should have made Armor Piercer. My fault. So, Cinder Springs. I knew I always needed a good supply of hot items, and I think I've hit the mother lode. So yeah, we're starting to see fire-based enemies now. Meaning, we need to pay attention to elements, like the element of fire right here. So, knowing that, I'm going to make a sword out of iron. Even though I don't have a very good supply yet. And I forgot to talk to Gander. Go figure. I'm going to go do that when I take this next guy's order. Which is right now. Yo, Gander. Oh, he doesn't have any yet. Fire. Ah. I will pick up this luck-based arrowhead, though. Now an axe. Axe is going to have to be bronze. Basically, as far as I can tell with the epic weapons, what you get is basically randomized according to what weapons you already have. I was lucky to get the Charm Blade early. Alright. Good enough axe. I kind of botched the handle construction, but I think we can deal. Bronze. Again. I'm gonna have to start purchasing iron soon. As soon as Gander starts allowing it. Let's get the other one done first. Because I want all the good components. Whoops. I really botched that use of the hammer. 5, 4, 3, 2. Alright, I'll fix that. Oh, one more. Alright. Alrighty. So far, I've basically been able to use whatever guards I can. Let's use this just in case. Alright, what was the other order for today? Another axe. Okay. Sword I'll just get to in due time. Probably should have used the health piece, knowing me. But we're starting to get enough parts at this point that I can do as I must. As I feel I must. Alright, 3 there. Oh, that was bad. Whatever. This one. Alright. Day 5 done. And still a reasonable time bonus. These early days, you get more out of the time bonus, as far as I can tell, than you do by perfecting the trail. As long as you just happen to do well enough. Alright, those well-forged swords should be getting their big use right now. We got a spade of 3 fire enemies left. 2 fire enemies left. You can fire at them when they're off screen, by the way. Very helpful if you're just trying to make sure you get every last bit of opportunity out of the weapons you've made. Because you can't affect the main battle, you can only do fire support at this stage. Sometimes you get unlucky, and you wind up without someone who'd be effective against the day's monsters, but that only happens early. Alright, and another iron weapon. Okay, it's a sword, I can tell because of the perk. Okay, we're starting to get some iron, and we got a bit of steel right there, if you saw. So I think I'll take it up to this sword and then call it an episode. Let's see what we got. So what do you got, Scout? Okay, so 3 fire enemies and 2 others. Oh, nice. I'm gonna save that as well, as I have been this entire time. And ores... I can purchase both, and because this is the first shield day, I'm going to. The reason? Shields take up by far the most ore. You're looking at 16 per. Vincent! Vincent, my man. How are you? Any luck with those nightmares? Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be in the personable mood. Although it was basically a traveling blacksmith, I kinda... As playing as one here, I kinda have to pretend. And I'm not sure I'm doing a good job here. Alright. Let's see what we got. Stretch here, stretch there. Good enough. And I'm going to use the luck arrowhead today. With butterfly feather. Yeah, butterfly feather. That's what I'm going to call it. The back of the arrow is called a feather, so I don't care if it's butterfly wings. I'm calling it a butterfly feather this time only. And because I've already got an iron shield out, I'm going to make the sword out of bronze. I'm trying to conserve iron until I get steel reliably. Once I start getting crystal by the bucket load, conserving isn't really going to matter. That'll do. And just because it's that type of arrow, let's cap this thing off right. Kind of an iffy job on the handle, but I'll deal. Another bow. Why not? I've got the barbarian, so I'm gonna actually craft the armor piercer right now. I've got the barbarian and can save that one for later. Let's see. Rather than perfectly memorize, I just go back and cite. Okay, 7, 5, 5. 7, 5, 5. I got 2 of those. And I already get a few extra gems just for doing that. Now let's get back to Vincent's piece of work. Get this shield right. Don't tell me how to paint it. You gotta paint the full surface. It's actually very, very easy. as is placing the crest as long as you keep it centered. And I already got Expert Forger. That's a good sign. And a big time bonus compared to what I usually get. I usually get in the high 30s for this level. I'm definitely improving. You're gonna get sick of this music. The two tracks you've already heard in this game are basically the only two tracks in the entire game. And now that I think of it, the Iron Shield might have been overkill. But especially with that Barbarian going in effect. Oh well. Yeah, that Barbarian was overkill. Well, either the Barbarian or the Iron Shield was overkill. Fully clear the trail in 5 days. And beat 30 enemies. Man, I'm doing very well at the start. Despite that one botched mission. Which, I expect to botch one mission and not completely clear the trail on one given day. It's just how the game goes. Also, we're starting to see water enemies. Maybe this is the day I should have used for the Armor Piercer. Although, we did just get an epic bow. That might be of use here. Question is, do I want to use it? 4 out of 5. I may be using it much earlier than I was hoping. Alright, I gotta check and see if that arrowhead's in the shop. Nope. No arrowhead. So I'll just buy some iron and get going, I guess. Alright. Make another shield. I want to use mostly iron today. So I'm foregoing iron and the shield this time. And I spill a little. Go figure. Another one? Okay. I'm gonna make this one out of... Come on. I'm gonna make this one out of bronze again. No, I can't make the water. I can't make the water bow. Probably called Poseidon bow or something like that. Matters is, I can't make it yet. I need gold as my primary material of the... Wow, I botched that. It's gonna get a hit to its power. Or not. I thought it would have a little more impact than that. So, axe. This one, I'm definitely sticking with iron. Please let the next one be a sword. I can make the barbarian and negate the pain of this day. The pain of actually not getting it right, that is. Not like anything physical, of course. If I somehow got physical pain off a video game, that would kind of suck. Alright, slightly off. This laptop screen is kind of dirty, so I might miss a couple on the painting deal. I really hope not. And the last one's an axe. Oh well. Not like I was gonna be. I was hoping to save up that steel, but it looks like I'm not gonna be able to do it this time. I've got to start looking for that arrowhead, though. I want another armor piercer for later. Although I've never had a situation yet where I've actually been able to successfully craft an epic weapon more than once. They only guarantee you the materials one time. There. I got a lot of pieces. I want this one to last, so... Special pole piece. A grip. And cap it off normally. I'm making the other one on iron, and I'll make up the rest of the difference there. Alright. I want to save the chain for later. Or what, as far as I can tell, is a chain. Oh, that's gonna kill. I could tell that I didn't get the full bonus out of the piece. I really did not want to make a steel weapon this early. However, circumstances within the game have kind of forced my hand. Not getting enough for a decent bow, or not getting anyone who wants a bow or a sword. Kind of forced my hand. I'm getting a good decent amount of shield paint, though. Maybe I'll get an epic shield today. Okay, so someone explain to me, quickly. Let's see. I'm trying to think, besides Goofy, Captain America, and these guys, who on Earth wields a shield as an actual weapon around here? Around anywhere? Seriously. Goofy, Captain America, these guys. Who else possibly could? In pop culture. I should have said in pop culture the first time. Oh well. I still made it. Probably because of that steel weapon. And I got an iron axe of some sort as my special this time. Alright, I think the next day of action is going to be the last one for this session. Alright. Now we get the Gladius. Basically, the way the longswords worked against fire at the start, the Gladius starts with water. It also works slightly differently in the forging in the second section, the hammering. I keep calling it forging, even though forging is technically the... it's Dire Blade again. Damn. I was really hoping it wasn't going to be Dire Blade. Even in my practice file, I've yet to run across shadow characters. Ores. I'm doing poorly on bronze. Let's see, arrowheads. Still not the one I'm after. I'll just buy more iron. Hang on to the rest of the gems. A sword. Yeah. I'll stick with iron here. I theoretically should be using steel because it's because I'm making the effective weapon. But on the early days, you can't risk that. On later days, absolutely do it. But this early in the game, not so fast. The weapon designs. Okay, iron longsword. Nope. I'm gonna stick with Iron Gladius. I want to save the charm weapons until I can get a full stack of the rest of the party. Have the rest of the party so good they can overcompensate for one bad weapon. Because as far as I've seen so far, all of the charm weapons have been really terrible bronze or copper variants. I'm looking at you, Luckbeater Mace. Yes, Mace. We won't get to that this episode, or probably not even the next. But there is most definitely going to be a Mace somewhere in here. Not using that fire hilt just yet. Nor am I using the Mickey Mouse cap. Or heart cap, I don't know which. I've already made one Kingdom Hearts joke. So, shield. Now we're going to go for the iron shield. If I could just make the shield rod, we'd be set for this early day. But that's just not going to happen, sadly. Okay, the bows. I'm not gonna make the water one just yet. I'm gonna try to stave this off a little. Okay. This going. No good grips for this. Ugh, that was a bad one. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, I'll paint it water. I'll paint it so that it's better against water enemies. Almost. I almost got that perfect. And the game still gives it to me anyway. Go figure. If there's one complaint I've had so far, it's that the game is actually far more lenient than it needs to be. You've seen how much I botch. The game really does not need to forgive me for that. Alright, time bonus is gonna suck today, but... 40. That's not bad at all. Let's see if I can go for yet another epic weapon. I may be able to do it. The fire enemy is actually what kind of concerns me a little bit, because I completely stacked this deck against water. But... ah yes, the shield guy. Shields are good against fire, I suppose. I suppose it's because it's a pointed shield and covers more of his body than a round shield might. Yeah, I've kind of spoiled one of the possible other shield types, but I don't care. Maybe I can pull off a perfect again. It's remotely possible. It's the bowman that concerns me in that regard. Yes, a perfect. Yeah, guys, keep the weapons. Ah! Durable gear. Wonder if there's a 20-day variant of that. Alright. But sadly, this is where I must stop. Right as we've just unlocked firebombs. I'm gonna save it here and go ahead and back up the save. That's the fun thing about this game. You can actually back up your saves. Yep. You can back up your saves and do very well. You do very well with it later, because apparently switching anything tends to clear everything. So this is Frosty signing out, and I'll only record another session of this when I feel the need to test some gimmicks more. So until then, take care.